and now she's in her feelings, so she's letting everything out, and it's just we'll figure out what it's gonna be, right?
We got somebody at the door. That's what I'm
yeah,
looking
man. We got somebody at the door. Good evening. You are with Straight Talk with Dean and Mark. Tell us who you are and where you're from.
Yes. Am I on?
You are
yes,
on, Mr. Yes, we got Roger Brown on. I'm glad to have Roger Brown on. We were just talking some general conversation, Mr. Brown, but the reason I wanted Mr. Brown on, and I'm hoping to have some other people on as well, but Roger is doing some very major stuff in terms of business leadership. He has always been a major business leader here in our community, but he's also doing some stuff with the rural community as well. So one of the things that I first met Roger when he had a property in the downtown area called Mr. Shoe. So I was actually talking about his business earlier today with another shoe company at Northgate, but he would have, you could buy your used shoes, and I actually bought quite a few from Mr. Brown, and was quite pleased that they were oftentimes kept in good stead for like years on end in some cases. And, I do a lot of walking, but those shoes had some good life, and definitely appreciate what he did. So he was one of the forefronts of this business development that we have in downtown Durham before people even thought about the business development. And now he's working with Durham Upholstery and doing that. But the other thing that he's doing, which is kind of fitting to our topic, is he is working with a rural community, and they're trying to figure out some ways to use their farmland. I believe it's up in Virginia that they're using it, and trying to find ways to develop it. So that's just a little bit of my history of how I knew Mr. Brown. He also did like some business connection networking, where we would come to his house and have some food and powwow and meet each other, some of us that did not know each other, and get some sage advice from Mr. Brown, who has been in the game for a while in terms of being a business entrepreneur. But that's a little bit of a little quick introduction, Roger. But why don't you just tell us a little bit about this current project that you're involved in, and what that's all about, and some of the things that you've shared with me about what y'all are trying to do with that farmland, which I believe is in Virginia. And my co-host, that's his home neck of the woods is Virginia. He lives in Jersey, but his family is Virginia bound.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I'm from South Carolina.
South Carolina, all right, my fault.
Yeah, and for your viewers or your listeners, my hometown is 30 miles north of Savannah and 30 miles west of Hilton Head.
Wow.
And about 60 miles from Charleston. I'm down in what you call low country, Geechee Lane. But my parents, we have a home place there of about 200 acres, and on each site there's about 100 acres. One site we have pine trees, and used to be able to grow stuff, but we don't grow stuff anymore. On the other side is the home place, and then there are two houses that are there. One my niece lives in, and then the other is my oldest brother's home, but he doesn't live in it anymore. It's a 4-bedroom, nice brick home that we are converting into a lodge. We are turning our farm into a dinner farm. Dinner on the farm. We've learned that there is a zigzag, I call it. There are a lot of affluent people that have never experienced being on the farm. We left the farm trying to live their lifestyle with the 5-star hotels and what have you. They grew up with that, so they want to come to the rustic area, and that we have. So we met some people who are into that, but they don't have the land or the property to do such. So they are working with us to help create such. There is a demand. People want to have weddings and what have you. We've done a feasibility study, and we will convert my brother's home into a lodge. And also, we're looking into a duck farm. There are a lot of people want to go duck hunting, and we will grow the ducks and give them a home. The duck hunters will come, paying $400 and $500 a day to go duck hunting, and they could only shoot the duck when they fly, and the ducks would return when the noise settled. So that's a very affluent type operation that we are looking into. But the dinner on the farm, people want to eat wild animals. They want to, other than fish and chicken and pork and that kind of stuff. Are you there?
Yes, still here.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And other kind of stuff. They want to eat alligators and snakes and stuff like that. And, of course, they're in abundance down in that area. And they want to pluck things directly out of the field and to the farm. There are some people with trucks, what you call these food thing on wheels, food trucks.
Food trucks, right?
Yeah, food trucks. Some people are interested in joining up with us and specialize in having that available. Our property is located very uniquely off of Highway 321, which is the main highway between Savannah and Columbia. We're about 107 miles from Columbia, 30 miles from Savannah. It's rustic enough that you could find it without going down in the swamps. The road is very nice to off the highway and to our property. And most people in my area, the Brown family is well known. Well known. So that's where we are. Ask me any question you want.
Well, we definitely appreciate it, Mr. Brown. I mean, one of the things that always interested me was you would oftentimes, when you were downtown, you were one of those people I mentioned when he passed about Mr. Sellers. But you and Mr. Sellers were some of the folks that first told me, look, you brothers and sisters need to be paying attention to what's going on in downtown. Downtown is going to have a rapid growth, and y'all need to be getting involved in this. Now, many of us ignored your advice, and that's why we don't have any piece of that pie. Now, there are some people that have a piece of the pie, but some of us didn't hear your clarion call when you were trying to tell us what was coming. What was it that you saw that others didn't see that let you know that this area was going to be growing in terms of Durham? That was one question. And the other question was, why do you think we've gotten away from our farming? Because you're right, many of us come from rural backgrounds, and we just kind of got away from it and have let those farms pass away, even though that was oftentimes the source of the income for many of us. But I was just curious of your insight as to, one, what you saw coming in downtown Durham that you were able to see before others, and why you think we've been letting farmland escape from our grasp.
Well, with the downtown thing, a year before I retired in 95, I knew I wanted to do something completely different. So I rode downtown. Normally, I don't go downtown. I didn't go downtown. But when I rode downtown, I was shocked to see so many empty buildings. And what crossed my mind is that, number one, you don't move Main Street. You don't move it. And that downtown Durham was coming back with a new set of people doing new things. The local people didn't see the opportunity because they didn't have the foresight for it. I knew it was coming back, but I made one huge mistake. I should have bought the whole block.
Wow.
I didn't have the money to do it. It was stressful for me to buy that one building. But I should have put a plan together and gotten investors. I wasn't wise enough to do that. But all those buildings, half of the block was empty. That's one regret that I have. Now, as far as the farm is concerned, and I don't have a happy background because my father was big time cotton and corn and cattle and hogs, and he was a hard working man. He had 7 kids, and he ran all of us from home for an easier way out. Very successful, but I couldn't see myself retiring from farming. So it looked like we did well, anyhow, I took the easiest way out. I went to school. Anybody can sit in a classroom and learn. But to be on that farm, even though my parents were third, fourth graders, but they were wise people, hard-working people. I gained my workmanship from my dad and my kindness and lovable from my mother. They were strong people, very strong people. So as far as the farm is concerned, the only way I know to go back now is doing it on a social level, not growing crops, but sociably, how can you make a living out of it? I can go for that. Okay.
So you think that's the way that more people are going to do it, try to find unique ways to do their to use their property? Because I know there's a gentleman I'm hoping to call in later, Mr. Justin Tillery, and he's making actually artwork from cotton because he's actually been involved and has a company called Black Cotton where they're actually making like these sculptures and other stuff, but it's all made from actual cotton. So he's not actually trying to sell the cotton to make what we usually think of cotton, like clothes and things of that nature, but he's actually making artwork out of it and then selling this artwork to people at a pretty decent price. And that's the way that he is finding to make folks, but one, know that the cotton is still out there and have a use for it other than what we're used to, especially since so many of our clothes have gone to synthesized fabrics and things away from cotton, but things that are more man-made kind of things. So he has found a unique way to do things. So, and I've seen other people doing things of that nature where they might use the things that we would think of as being farm properties in order to create art or do other things with them. Well, like you just said, even make housing out of them or do hospitality, whether that's a bed and breakfast on a farmland or whether that's an event center or whether that's the various other ways that people might try to make their farmland known, because we know that for a long time we had a lot of farmland. I mean, the whole 40 acres and a mule, we're supposed to have all gotten that back in the day, but unfortunately when big business came, just kind of like with downtown, and gave us the opportunity to get that property, where a lot of us were like, nah, we came from the farm background, didn't want to go back to the farm background. Some of us had probably done too much farming, and we're like, I'm not going to go do that. That's too much hard work, even though that hard work, as we know from our parents and our grandparents, can make you a boatload of money if you know what you're doing. But I think a lot of us probably got scared off by the big, giant corporate farmers.
Oh, no. Matter of fact, we have experimented with people that we knew in travel van, not a van, but oh my God, I can't think, but where you got these mobile homes that you go from site to site, whatever it is, I'm blank. Almost the same thing they use a tailgating at a football game.
Right.
Okay, we've had a group of people that come to our farm and just tailgate. And then we had some local entertainment, people singing gospel and what have you, just to experiment. Okay? And then on another occasion, we had a small group. We out in the field, we had linen tablecloth with about 10, I think we had about 25 people. And out in the field with linen tablecloth and whatever, the napkins and the whole 9 yards. And we had a 5-star type dinner out in the field and using the sky as our roof. And it turned out real well. The people wanted to do it again.
Wow.
A new experience. People looking. We have a group that want to have a wedding, a rustic type wedding out in the woods